The case of two Southwest men being held without charge in a Budapest prison has been at the centre of a debate about justice and freedom in the European Union. They were sent to Hungary from Britain by a legal mechanism called the European Arrest Warrant. This has helped the British authorities trace international criminals and terror suspects. But critics say it puts British people at risk from legal systems less robust than our own. Ben Walvin reports.
The European Arrest Warrant was introduced in 2004. The politicians that backed it promised extra protection from serious criminals. But the United Kingdom Independence Party says it has in fact put everyone in Britain at risk of random arrest.
Michael Turner and Jason McGoldrick are both from the southwest. They're accused of defrauding more than 100 people of £18,000 when their Hungarian marketing company collapsed. The men have been held in this Budapest prison since November. Under Hungarian law, they could be kept here for 3 years without trial.
They're spending 23 hours out of 24 hours a day in their cell with 1 hour a day exercise, 3 telephone calls a week and 1 shower a week. And there's no trial date, and there's no sign of a trial date. This has gone on for months already, and I'm afraid that there are many more months to go.
Hungarian law means police can apply for a European arrest warrant at the beginning of their investigations. And on Thursday this week, there was still no indication from the authorities as to when charges might be issued. Southwest MEP Graham Watson is the so-called godfather of the European arrest warrant. On Tuesday, he defended the legislation which he piloted through the European Parliament.
It has vastly enhanced the rule of law on our continent.
But that view was challenged by Southwest UKIP MEP William Dartmouth.
The European arrest warrant swept away at a stroke the safeguards against arrest established in Britain over 1,000 years. Well may you shake your head, Mr. Watson. It would be better if you apologised.
The European Council of Ministers is now debating various additional safeguards which could be implemented in the next 6 months. Little comfort for Michael Turner and Jason McGoldrick, who face a long wait for justice.
I'm joined now in the studio by the two MEPs we saw in the film, Lord Dartmouth, MEP for the UK Independence Party, and Graham Watson, Liberal Democrat MEP, and as we heard in the film, dubbed the godfather of the European arrest warrant. You're smiling, so that's obviously not an epithet that worries you. Graham Watson, just to begin with, it is a fact, isn't it, that the right not to be detained for normal circumstances more than a few days in Britain is considered to be an absolutely fundamental liberty. As this case shows, through the European arrest warrant and individuals ending up in other member states, that can be completely disregarded.
No, of course it's true, but where your film is wrong is that these people are not held without charge. They're held without indictment of a specific offence, but they are charged with fraud against 137 people who put money into the timeshare property scheme that these chaps were selling and who were defrauded out of their money. And that is the charge. This arrest warrant is used in thousands of cases every year, at least 1,500 cases every year in the United Kingdom. Judges can refuse to extradite people for trial if they believe they're not going to get a fair trial. In this case, they were extradited because it was recognised that the evidence put up was sufficient to bring these men to trial. But we need to improve the scheme to make sure people are not going to be held for long periods in jails abroad without being tried.
OK, so just to be clear, I mean, there is an issue here. This isn't just a fuss about nothing.
No, it's not just a fuss about nothing. It has been a fantastic tool for getting on top of international criminals, but we can make it work better. OK, William Dartmouth, it seems as if Graham Watson's gone some way to conceding your point. He's saying, well, actually, there is a problem with this issue of protracted detention. This needs to be changed. But set against that, you've got a very good piece of legislation which is doing all kinds of effective things, combating serious crime across Europe.
No, it isn't about conceding points. It is very simple. Before the European arrest warrant, for somebody to be extradited, the evidence had to be evaluated by a British judge. Now that safeguard has been swept away, and it was a safeguard that is the culmination of 900 years since Magna Carta. Now, the consequence of that is that everybody in Britain is now at risk of random arrest. Extradition has gone. Graham Watson said on the floor of the European Parliament, and correctly so, that the European arrest warrant has replaced extradition. It's now simply a bureaucratic exercise. A thing goes in front of a British judge or magistrate. He says that he actually finds that the form has been correctly filled in, and off they go. Now, in the case of our two southwestern constituents, what they're accused of is a white-collar crime, no previous offence. If they'd been accused in Britain, there's absolutely no question but that they would have bail and would not be in prison. As it is, they're now in their 85th day of prison, and as the film said, they can be held in prison while the Hungarian authorities collect evidence for up to 3 years. Now, when I went to Budapest, I was actually told by the Hungarian authorities it was up to 4 years. But whether it's 3 years or 4 years, these people can be in jail for a very long time, and everybody else is at risk because of the European arrest warrant, which is a peculiarly ill-thought-out, ill-considered bit of legislation which only came in because it came in the backwash of actually 9/11. And of course, this is not a moment to make party political points, but it's all part of the Liberal Democrats' obsession to create a European superstate in which not only Britain would count for nothing, but also our liberties would count for nothing. It's very, very, very ill thought out. And actually, Mr. Watson ought to go home, think again, and withdraw the whole thing.
If it is ill thought out, why would our government have put it through Parliament? Why would the whole of the legal profession have welcomed it? Why would it be being used in over 1,500 cases every year? This has brought down the average length of time that it takes to get a serious criminal in front of a judge from some 9 months or more before to about 43 days on average now. It works extremely well, but I concede that it should work better.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to respond to that. Well, first of all, the Labour government have brought in an awful lot of things that everyone disagrees with. But the thing is that the law isn't just about banging up serious criminals or banging up criminals. The law is also about protecting people. It's about protecting innocent people from persecution, harassment, and in this case, arrest. That's what the law is also about.
Protecting them from being swindled out of their money.
I'm afraid we're out of time.
Well, you know, the fact is crime is international, and these people are the criminal's friend.
To find out more about who we are and what we stand for, go to the UK Independence Party website at www.ukip.org.